Welcome back to the kitchen. Brandy here. I want to welcome you to Sewing Back. I have a new recipe for myself and I thought I'd bring you along because I'm going to be testing out my Ankarsrum mixers. This is the recipe book that comes with it. And in the recipe book they have a crispy baguette. Actually makes 4 baguettes, and it recommends that you serve this with soup, and I was planning on making some chicken soup for dinner tonight. So it's the afternoon, but this is one that you only need a few hours to proof and bake. And actually the bake time on this, I believe, is like, I think it's 15 minutes. So, and you just need a few items. So even if you don't have this mixer, you could try this recipe with whatever mixer you have, or you could do it by hand. The first thing that you're gonna need is some water. This is purified water, or it's filtered water from my Berkey. And it is, I'm using my thermometer, and it's right in between 100 and 105, which is perfect for blooming your yeast. And so you need that. You need some yeast. I'm using mine that I get from the Redbackers out of the freezer. You need some olive oil, some salt, and you need some bread flour is what's recommended. I'm not going to try to do this as a sourdough yet because I'm just following their directions. I'm also going to be using the dough hook. I have not used this part before on my mixer, and I'm just following exactly what they have in here, and we're going to see how it goes because I want to see how it turns out. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to get our yeast, and we need 2 1/4 teaspoons into 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of the warm water. So this is the Ankarsrum mixer assistant. It's called the Assistant, and this is Swedish handmade. These are pricey, but they have a 7-year warranty on them, but most people who have these are still using their originals, so they last. Before this one, I had a KitchenAid Professional 6 series that lasted me 18 years, and I'm excited about this. I love the openness of the bowl. As you're putting things in, the more I use this, the more I like this. All right, so I'm going to put in, it says that I need to assemble my Assistant with the stainless steel bowl, which is here, my dough knife, which it scrapes the sides, so it goes like so, just like that. And I need to put in my dough hook, which it comes over here and it goes in there. So as far as I know, that's how I assemble this. Okay, so now I have my water heated to, like I said, somewhere between 98 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're doing Celsius, it's 37 to 41 degrees. So I'm gonna pour this into my mixer. And then I need to add 2 teaspoons of yeast. 1, 2, and now a fourth of a teaspoon. All right, and so now we need to turn this on. It's on the lowest setting. So we're just supposed to leave it in here until it is combined. This looks a little different to me than what I'm used to. I guess that's foam. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and sour it. I'm going to put sourdough in it. And we're going to go with it. Because I don't think that has enough foam. And when I normally do my yeast, usually I add some sugar when I'm doing mine. So I don't know. I'm going to do what I know. I will follow the rest of the recipe, but I am going to incorporate, and essentially all you do is wherever you add your sourdough, you would take away some of the flour, which it calls for 5 to 6 cups of bread flour. So, and my sourdough is well fed and active, so that's what we're going to do. Let me get... So, I'm just going to stick this in here and pull out a cup of my sourdough. And I'm going to pour it in here. And yes, you can use sourdough and yeast together. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, and if you haven't seen a bubbly sourdough, that's what it is. All right, so now I'm just going to turn this back on. I'm going to kind of see if it gets incorporated a little bit. I like how that looks better. I already have more active bubbles than what it looked like, so I'm going to call that a win. Plus, since I'm using all bread flour, I'm not using freshly milled ancient grain or einkorn or something. This is probably going to be better for me anyway. Alright, so now we're supposed to add in our olive oil, which it calls for 2 tablespoons. And I'm not going to use it infused, I'm just going to use straight up olive oil. Alright, now alright, and so we're supposed to add in half of our flour. So what I'm going to do, see that? Yeah. Get that going. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 3 cups. And we need our salt, which is also a tablespoon. So I'm going to flip my tablespoon. And this makes 4 loaves. So, alright, and so I'm going to go ahead and add in my salt. And you can see it's just doing its thing. All right, guys, it just finished kneading for 5 minutes. I'm going to turn that back down. So now I am going to take my dough hook out. And we're going to take our paddle out here. Let's see. All right, I'm supposed to let this sit for, it says, an hour to 2 hours. So it can, it's supposed to double in size. And let's see. The great thing about this bowl is it has this lid, a proofing lid, and you just leave it like that. Now, I normally would put this in my Z-Line microwave drawer because it's warm, and I may do that if it'll fit. I'm not sure if it'll fit. I will try and see. But I'll see you back in an hour or two when this is doubled in size, and then we're going to turn it out. We're going to cut it into 4 equal amounts, and then we're going to kind of twist it into a baguette. And I think you let it proof with a towel on top for about 30 more minutes, and then it bakes for 15 and you're done. So this so far seems pretty easy. I'm excited because it will actually be soured. And so anyway, I'll see you back in just a bit. It did not fit in my drawer. I didn't think it would. It's actually dishwasher safe as long as it's on the top rack, and it doesn't fit my top rack either, which is fine. It's easy to hand wash. It's not a big deal. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna sit it back there on my stove because I've already sauteed my vegetables for my chicken soup, and I'm fixing to put my chicken in and turn that on a low slow cook, and so that will get a little bit warmer over there than if I left it sitting over here on this side. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'll see you back in just a bit. It was on the stove top. It was proofing. Clearly the sourdough and the yeast work together. It's supposed to do 4 loaves. I have this great little baguette pan I got years ago from the bread backers, and my son was taking French. He took French for 3 years in high school, and he needed to make French bread for a project, and he did from scratch and all that kind of stuff, but that was when I was gluten-free. So I've actually never used this. He has, but I'm excited to use it. So I'm supposed to have 4 loaves, but I think I'm going to cut it in 3, and we're going to go with bigger. We're going to try to have a little bit bigger loaves. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to sit this over here. So the directions say, this is not the right thing. I thought it was my scraper, and I can't open my drawer all the way. Oh, here it is. This is my scraper that came with. And it fits right in here. So you're not supposed to knead it. We're just supposed to get it out. So I'm gonna try to get it off of the sides. And then we're supposed to cut it in equal parts, or as close as we can get. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see all of that. So they look like that. So they're supposed to go in the oven, and I'm not going to cut them because it doesn't say to like slice them, which I don't really understand because normally, I don't know if it's because it's just going to, Lucy, no. I don't know if it's because of how you twist them, if they're just going to break, but we're just going to go with the way it's stated, and if that doesn't work, I'll know next time. So my oven is preheated as high as it'll go. I have to bake these for 15 minutes, and so here goes nothing. And you're supposed to be in the center rack, which mine is, and I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. Oh, should have rotated my pan if you see the little dinky one that's not on this little contraption. But those look pretty good. They didn't explode. I think they turned out really nice. I can't wait. They're supposed to cool for about 5 minutes, and then it said you could eat. So the pan's hot, sorry. So that is what we're gonna do. So that was Brandy's first ever try at making, and of course mine are gonna be sour because I use my sourdough. So I followed the recipe in the Ankarsrum cookbook that comes when you get a mixer. With the exception was I added sourdough. I made it soured. So I'm glad I did that now. This is easy and it's quick. It's even quicker than the focaccia. So if you're trying to get some real bread made for dinner and you don't want to have to do it the night before or what have you, this one went pretty quick. I mean, I got that set up. That mixer makes work easy. So I'm thankful, and I'm sure that it will taste wonderful. So anyway, I hope that if maybe you've been looking at one of these mixers, that maybe you can put that on your Christmas wish list. But if you have a different mixer, you can do the same recipe. I will put what I did in the description since I added my sourdough and stuff like that. So then I can I'm not stealing anything to type it up in there what I did to make those. I'll also put a link to the mixer. It is pricey. They do now have them on Amazon. For a long time you couldn't get them on Amazon. They were hard to find here in the States. You can get them there if you are local, you can, or if you are within the co-op reach of the bread backers, which I usually put in my description, which they go all over. They sell these. That's where I bought mine. I bought mine local from the bread backers, and I got a great deal. They had a special going, and I'm thrilled with it. So excited to get to use it. I still haven't used the other bowl where you use for like cookie doughs and things like that. I just haven't made any of that. I don't make a lot of that. Maybe more around the holidays and stuff like that. So, but I'm sure that I will. And I will bring you along when I do. But I'm thrilled with this. And my next experiment will be to do this and do some of my milled grains. I'll probably do a half and half ratio first. Until I kind of figure that out, because they have a little bit different moisture level when you're using some of the ancient grains. So I am super proud of that, and I appreciate you being here. If you found value in this, we'd love a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to the channel but you're finding yourself coming back and visiting us, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. It helps us with the algorithm and to push us out so that we can grow our platform. And or if you know someone who might be interested in these things, we would love it if you would share our videos or share one of the recipes on your social platforms. It doesn't cost you anything, and that also helps us a great deal. So with that, I thank you very much. And if you don't do any of those things, but you come by periodically to see what's going on in the kitchen or in the garden or with the chickens, we still appreciate you. Thank you so much, and have a great day. I'll see you next time.